Hello friends, welcome to EduTap. If you can hear me, if the audio is clear and the video is clear, please give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Welcome to the 33rd lecture of Economics and Social Issues. ESI is a very important component of RBI Grade B Phase 2 examination as well as NABARD Grade A Phase 1 and Phase 2 examination. We have been running this series of lectures in which we have been discussing many concepts which are very important so far as ESI static is concerned. If you can hear me, if the audio is clear and the video is clear, please give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Good evening to all of you present over here. आप सभी लोगों से मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है कि तुरंत अपना कंफर्मेशंस दे दीजिए, सारी चीजों को चेक करवा दीजिए so that we can begin our discussion for this 33rd session of ESI. चलिए, Abhiram as well as Nilesh, Priya, Deepika, Ishita, everything is clear. Chaliye, thank you very much for your confirmations. Let us begin. Stay home, stay safe, stay online. Second wave of coronavirus, third wave of coronavirus, whatever wave of coronavirus may come, take adequate precautions, safeguard yourself, safeguard your health, safeguard your personal well-being, that of your family, right? That will be a very, very important thing that you will have to do going ahead. Do take care of that. We have launched a good number of courses for RBI, SEBI and NABARD preparation. These courses are available on the EduTap app. You can also visit the www.edutap.co.in website and you can purchase these courses, enroll in these courses and prepare very well for these examinations, right? Do prepare well for these examinations. We are also conducting a series of mock tests for you, SEBI Grade A 2020, the timetable for which has been placed in front of you. So if you are preparing for SEBI or if you are preparing for any of these examinations and if you want to see how good your preparation is in paper 2, so you can appear for these mock tests which are scheduled to be conducted on 29th of November, 6th of December, 20th of December, 27th of December, 3rd January and 10th January. So this is a very, very good platform in my opinion, in the sense that so far as paper 2 is concerned, you can undertake multiple iterations of the exam. Like rather than just landing up on the day of the exam and trying to appear for the exam, you can take multiple iterations. So if you have gone through paper 2, you should appear for these mock tests, and with every subsequent mock test you should try to complete the entire syllabus. You should try and take it as if your life depends on these examinations, not literally, but what I'm trying to say is that you should prepare very well for these examinations. So do take these very, very seriously, do register for them and appear very wholeheartedly for these mock tests, right? We have also launched a SEBI Grade A 2020 MCQs master course in which we have provided 5,000 plus high quality new MCQs for your preparation, for your practice, covering various dimensions of the examination: economics, accounts, finance, company law, management, costing. And this course is available at a 20% discount. If you have not already enrolled in this course, you should enroll in this course, right? I have been requesting students to answer homework questions, and even today at the end of this session I'm going to provide certain homework questions for your answering. So मिहिर लोई, नीलेश सूर्यवंशी, अबिन के, इशिता त्रिपाठी, अमन पाठक, खुशबू अग्रवाल, प्रिया गायरी, दुर्लभ रघुवंशी and Akhil Sridharan were kind enough to answer the homework questions of the previous lecture. At the end of this session also I am going to insist that you should answer homework questions because that will be helpful for you in the examination. Now in today's session, friends, we are going to focus on International Monetary Fund. So in the previous session we had focused a lot upon the World Bank. We had discussed a lot of topics related to World Bank, lot of questions related to World Bank, such that every exam that you are appearing in, and in that exam they are asking you factual questions related to World Bank, you should be able to answer those questions. I hope that you have seen the previous session. Now in this session we are going to focus upon IMF. So the first question that I'm going to place in front of you is you have to tell me the year in which IMF was established. Now the first 10 questions that I'm going to place in front of you are going to be fill in the blanks and true and false kind of a question. So we are going to discuss it here itself. So I've placed the question, I'm going to place the answer also here itself. And then in the subsequent questions going ahead, I'm going to discuss certain theory also. So these are very objective questions, very, very factual questions. There is no particular concept or no particular theory involved as such, right? So we are going to discuss it here itself. तो चलिए पहले क्वेश्चन का आंसर दे दीजिए. IMF का ईयर ऑफ एस्टैब्लिशमेंट बता दीजिए. शिरीष भट्ट, हर्षवर्धन, SK साथरी, सोनाली भट्टाचार्य, अभिराम, as well as Nilesh Suryavanshi, Deepika Pareva, Priya Gairi. Hello to all of you. Good evening to all of you. Vivek Chauhan, your answer is 1945. Harsha Vardhan, your answer is 1945. Nilesh Suryavanshi, your answer is 1944. Now there is going to be a lot of confusion in this 1944 and 1945 business. Even if you visit the actual IMF ka website, you will see that both years 1944 and 1955 have been mentioned in different contexts, in different senses. So far as the establishment in the of IMF is concerned, the right answer over here, and please don't revolt, please don't start disliking the video, I am going to clarify everything to you. The right answer to this question should be 1944. right? I'm going to show it to you that IMF on their website, they have put an image in which they say that we were established in 1944, right? They came into existence in 1945, they were established in the year 1944. So there is some confusion involved in this year. I'm not denying that, I'm not shying away from that, I am admitting that there is some confusion involved over here. The Bretton Woods conference took place in 1944, and the Bretton Woods twins, that is your World Bank and your IMF, emerged from the conference. So to that extent, somebody may be right in saying that yes, 44 was when the IMF was established. When did its formal existence came into being? When did its formal existence came into being? Somewhere it is written 45, at some other places it is written 44. So there is this confusion. I am going to place certain data from you from the IMF website itself, which will sort of, help you in clarifying this confusion. But keep this in mind. Moving ahead to question number 2. IMF is an organization of dash countries. So how many countries are a part of IMF is the question that is being asked to you over here, right? Shweta, you have given answer 1944, right? Anjali Sharma, you are asking, can you tell me how to get subscription of EduTap? Just visit www.edutap.co.in or visit courses.edutap.co.in, right? And you can enroll in our courses. If you are facing any problems whatsoever in enrolling in any of our courses, you can call us on 8146207241, or you can just drop a mail on hello@edutap.co.in and we will help you in enrolling the right course for you. So there will be no problems whatsoever in either enrolling for the course or participating in the course or learning from the course at all. You can be rest assured that all your problems will be taken care of, Anjali. I hope that this is very clear to you, right? So question number 2, IMF is an organization of how many countries? That is the question. So Nilesh, Deepika, Shweta, you have given answers as 190, and 190 indeed is the right answer over here, and I'm very proud of you because only very recently the number went up from 189 to 190. So the idea is that you have to be very thoroughly updated. It may so happen that let us say a couple of months down the line or maybe a few quarters down the line, the number may go on from being 190 to 191, maybe because some new country has been added. So at that point of time, what you need to note is that you need to keep yourself updated with current affairs, and EduTap comes out with a very beautiful current affairs ka magazine which helps you, keep yourself updated and keep yourself abreast with anything and everything that is happening which is important from the exams point of view. So this number 190 is very important. This number can change tomorrow if when you are preparing. Let us say that you are viewing this video 1 year after it has been recorded and the number is 191 or 192. Please keep yourself updated about that. Moving ahead to question number 3. Dash is the most recent member country to become a part of the IMF. So as we saw in question number 2 that the number has recently increased from, let us say, 189 to 190. Now you need to tell me which is the most recent country to become a part of the IMF, right? That is the question that is being asked to you, right? So Vivek, you have given answer 190 plus. 190 plus is a very vague answer, so I would not say 190 plus is a very nice, it's a very correct answer. I would not say that, right? And Deepika, Andorra was added to IMF recently is what you had commented in the second question itself. So basically, Deepika, you gave the answer to the third question that yes, Principality of Andorra became the most recent country to become the part of the IMF. So Lubna Abid, your answer is correct. Harsha Vardhan, your answer is correct. Vivek Chauhan, your answer is correct. Nilesh Suryavanshi, Ishita Tripathi, your answers are correct. I am very, very happy to note that you are knowing these factual things, knowing these important things so far as these organizations are concerned, because if a question appears in the examination, you all will be in a very, very strong position to be able to give the answers right. Moving ahead to question number 4. Now this is an easy question. If I were to classify questions based upon the level of difficulty, so the first question you may say is an easy question, second and third questions you may say are moderate questions, because you have to keep yourself updated, you have to take that effort to read through current affairs and know this minute detail and know the fact that yes, Principality of Andorra was the last one to be added, so it requires some amount of effort. So I would say question number 2 and 3 are moderate level questions. Question number 4 in my opinion is easy to moderate level question. Why? Because it is a part of static, right? For example, international institutions is a part of RBI syllabus that we cover in ESI at EduTap. In number never changes. So to that extent, I would say that this is an easy to moderate level question, not a moderate level question, because this number doesn't change, right? It has not changed in the recent past at least. So question number 4th ka answer I am waiting for. Priya Gairi, Ishita Tripathi, Manjot Singh, Lubna Abid, thank you for your participation very actively. Please give me answers over here for question number 4th. आप लोग बता दीजिए कि कितने executive directors are part of the executive board of the IMF. I would like to point out over here that there is a board of governors of IMF, which is the supreme body, which is the highest decision making body, and it comprises of governor and alternate governor. Okay, now be very careful that within the board of governors of IMF, right? So India will send 2 participants. One will be a governor, one will be a alternate governor, but this has got nothing to do with RBI governor. The finance minister of India is India's governor on the board of directors of board of governors of RBI, and Shakti Kanta Das, that is governor of RBI, is the alternate governor on the board of governors. So keep this in mind. So board of governors is your top decision making body. Executive board is the body which sort of handles the day-to-day functioning of the IMF. Now within this executive board, certain number of directors are present. How many directors are present on the executive board is the question that is being asked to you, right? So Sonali Bhattacharya, Vivek Chauhan, as well as Deepika Pareva and Lubna Abid, you have given answers as 24, and 24 is indeed the right answer over here. 24 executive directors and 1 managing director are a part of the executive board is what IMF says. Moving ahead to question number 5. This question is regarding special drawing rights. SDR is a currency which member states can exchange with one another in order to settle international accounts. You just have to say whether this statement is true or whether this statement is false. What we are trying to do through this statement or through this question is that we are trying to sort of examine your understanding of special drawing rights as a concept. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to place another question on SDR going ahead in front of you, which is going to be a multi-choice question. And after that, I'm going to discuss the theory of SDRs with you. So for the time being, you have to tell me whether this statement is true or false, and be very careful. This statement has multiple parts. First part says that it is a currency. Second part says that member states can exchange with one another. Third part says that it can be used to settle international accounts. You have to decide, based upon the analysis of these 3 subparts of this question, whether this statement is true or whether this statement is false. That is the challenge in front of us, right? So the 5th question ka answer, there is a lot of confusion over here. Okay, so Ishita is saying it is false, Manjot is saying it is true, Abhiram is saying it is true, Nilesh is saying it is false, Shweta is saying it is true, Akhil is saying it is false, Jitendra is saying it is true, Vivek is saying it is false, and this is exactly what I had expected. And I wanted to tell you all at the start itself that this is a difficult question to answer. Most students or many students will get this question right. So if you all want, you can retract your answer, and over here I am going to share a very important message that I am trying to share in every video that I conduct, that in our examinations there are negative marks if we don't know an answer to a question at all. Okay, at all, if we have no idea about it. Okay, and we are just answering to satisfy our ego, or we're just answering just out of peer pressure or some kind of pressure that we are creating in our head, right? Please don't do that, because there is negative marking involved in these examinations, and it can be very, very hurtful for you for your final chances, right? So please retract your answers if you don't know the answers to this question. I'm giving you that opportunity. The answer to this question is false. Many people have this wrong idea or this wrong notion that SDR is a currency. If you go to the IMF website, and I would encourage you to go to the IMF website, it is very clearly written on IMF ka website, first thing, that SDR is not a currency, right? SDR is not a currency. They have written it thrice within their page on SDR, that it is not a currency. Yes, member states can exchange SDRs with each other in order to settle international accounts, but SDR is not a currency. It has, IMF ka website mentions it thrice. Okay, so we have to be very, very careful about this. And if something new has been learned by you, please like this session and share the name of EduTap with one best friend of yours. That yes, EduTap is involved in RBI and NABARD and SEBI and very good material and coaching and blah, 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 blah. So do share the good things about EduTap with your friends if you have learned something new. Moving ahead to question number 6. In return for IMF's help, a country is usually required to embark on an IMF monitored economic reform program, otherwise known as DASH. So if you go back to, if you go back into the economic history of India, if you go back to 1991, when India went to IMF for loan, right? So when a country goes to IMF for help, like India went to IMF for help, a country, that is, let us say India, was required to embark on an IMF monitored economic reforms program. What is that economic reform program known as? You have to share the term of that economic reform program with me. IMF monitored economic reform program is also known as what? You have to tell me the term over here. This is basically a definition based question that I'm asking you. It requires very clear concepts, very clear understanding of things. You should know things, and then you will be able to answer this question pretty easily. I'm waiting for sixth question ka answer, right? Chaliye, Abhiram, you have given the answer as LPG reforms. Okay, this is the first type of answer that I am seeing over here. Let us see other answers over here. कि वो जो इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म प्रोग्राम्स किसी कंट्री को इंप्लीमेंट करने पड़ते हैं, व्हाट आर दोज इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म्स प्रोग्राम्स technically referred to as, right? So Akhil Sridharan, you have skipped the question. I'm waiting for certain answers over here. Please sort of try to think of the answer over here. I'm sure the moment I say the answer over here, the moment I share the answer over here, almost 70 to 80% of good students who have been preparing will say that yes, we knew the answer, but we just could not say it upfront. अगर मैं आपको ऑप्शन दिखाऊं इस क्वेश्चन से रिलेटेड, आई एम डेड श्योर दैट यू विल बी एबल टू गिव द आंसर राइट. इन फैक्ट, इन माय ओपिनियन, दिस क्वेश्चन इज एन easy question. I am very, very sure about this, that the moment I show the answer to you, right? Okay, let me show the answer to you. The answer is structural adjustment program or structural adjustment policy. अब आप लोग कमेंट करके बताइए कि आप में से कितने लोगों ने ये टर्म पढ़ रखा है या सुन रखा है. आई एम वेरी श्योर कि आपने सुन रखा होगा. व्हेन वी डिस्कस about Indian economy, when we discuss about reforms, LPG reforms that Abhiram was talking about, when we talk about planning in India, we discuss all of these topics in great detail as a part of our course. If you have not joined our course, you should join our course. आपको बहुत ज्यादा मजा आने वाला है इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ने के अंदर और बाकी सारे सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ने के अंदर. The answer to the sixth question is structural adjustment policy / program. Moving ahead to seventh question. Global Financial Stability Report is published by IMF. Again, you have to tell me whether this statement is true or false. If you think that this statement is false, then you need to tell me the organization which publishes this report if it is not IMF. So this is the question that I am asking you over here. Vivek Chauhan, आपने first time सुना है, right? खुशबू अग्रवाल did not know about it. ठीक है, आपने अभी सीख लिया. खुशबू, दीपिका, okay. So I am hoping that everybody is learning something new over here, because that is the agenda of these sessions, that we have to learn something new, factually, conceptually, as well as gain a clearer understanding of how we should sort of align our preparation towards a rank, because that is very important, because everybody is preparing. ऐसा नहीं है कि if people are appearing for the exam so they are not preparing, but how many of us are actually able to align our preparation towards the rank? That is something very, very different, and that is what we at EduTap are trying to do. If you call up for a strategy session and if you speak with Deepak sir or if you speak with Anchit sir, and I would like to tell you that both Deepak sir and Anchit sir are very highly accessible. You can tomorrow call up EduTap and say that you want to speak with Deepak sir and you will be able to do that, and you want to speak with Anchit sir and you will be able to do that. You want to speak with Ritika ma'am, you will be able to speak to Ritika ma'am tomorrow if you want. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow is a Sunday, okay? So don't take it literally, but we are all very easily accessible. So what we are wanting you to do is that we want you to align your hard work with towards the rank, so that something actually comes out of your preparation. So I'm waiting for the seventh question ka answer, and most of us have said it is true, and true is indeed correct. Yes, Global Financial Stability Report is published by IMF. IMF is headquartered at what place? Which city is IMF headquartered at? It's a very simple question, very easy question. Quickly give me the answer for question number 8. This is the kind of template that you should prepare. Where is WTO headquartered? Where is World Bank headquartered? Where is Asian Development Bank headquartered? Where is New Development Bank headquartered? Where is IMF headquartered? Where is, let us say, institutions in India headquartered? Where is RBI headquartered, or SEBI headquartered, or PFRDA headquartered, or NABARD headquartered? These are the kind of questions that keep coming in the examinations. Like, who is the head of IMF, or who is the head of NABARD, and who is the head of RBI, and who's the head of SEBI, and who's the head of this, and who's the head of that? These kind of questions keep coming in the examination, and you have to be very, very thoroughly prepared for these kind of questions. I'm waiting for the 8th question ka answer, and as I was expecting, many students have given the right answer over here. Washington DC is the right answer over here. Moving ahead to question number 9th. The current managing director and chairwoman of the IMF is who? You have to tell me the name over here. See, the idea is that whenever I conduct a strategy call regarding how to prepare for ESI, whether it is static or whether it is current, I tell students something very clearly, okay, that you should have a diary in which you should note down all the numbers together. Like for example, let us say 5 pages of your diary are committed to noting down the numbers. So what kind of numbers should you note down on those pages? Let us say what is India's rank on some report, what is, let us say what is India's GDP per capita, let us say what is the poverty line in India, or how many people are below poverty line in India, or how much is the budget allocation for Manrega, or how much is the budget allocation for Jal Jeevan Mission, or how much is the loan that Asian Development Bank gave to India, blah 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 blah. So all the numbers are together. Similarly, all the places are together. Where did this conference take place? Where is this headquartered? Where is that headquartered? Which city has done this? Which city has done that? Which country has done this? Which country has done that? So all the places are together. So all the numbers are together, all the places are together, all the short forms are together, all the themes are together, so on and so forth. That is the kind of approach that you should have, and then it becomes really easy to revise everything very quickly. The 9th question ka answer is Kristalina Georgieva. Some students have been able to give this answer right. Vivek Chauhan, Anurag Patel, Khushbu Agarwal, Shweta Singh, Dimpi Diori, Lubna Abid, Priya Gairi, Jitendra Verma. आपने ये तक बता दिया है कि she from Romania. Okay, moving ahead to question number 10, something which I am expecting everybody should be able to answer over here. Dash serves as chief economist of the IMF. So who serves as the chief economist of the IMF is the question that is being asked to you over here, and all of you all are expected to know the question right for this answer, for this question. सुनील कुमार, आपने जो लेगार्ड लिखने की कोशिश करी है, जो लगार्ड है वो जो है प्रीवियस जो करंट जो प्रीवियस मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर, जो प्रीवियस जो चेयर वुमन थे आईएमएफ के, उनका नाम आपने शायद लिख दिया है. इसीलिए हम आपको कह रहे हैं कि वी ऑल हैव टू बी अपडेटेड, वी ऑल हैव टू कीप गोइंग थ्रू करंट अफेयर्स व्हिच एडुटैप इज प्रोवाइडिंग थ्रू द करंट अफेयर्स का मैगजीन, व्हिच इज अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल मैगजीन सो फार एज अवर एग्जाम्स आर कंसर्न. So 10th question ka answer was Geeta Gopinath, and yes, it is Geeta Gopinath. So Khushbu, Lubna, Deepika, Shweta. Shweta is written answer as Geeta. Geeta is not our friend. It is Geeta Gopinath, right? Moving ahead to question number 11th. The International Monetary Fund fosters global monetary cooperation, secures financial stability, facilitates international trade, promotes high employment and sustainable economic growth, or all of the above. And be careful of all of the above. Just because all of the above has been presented as an option doesn't mean that all of the above is always the right answer. Please be very careful about that. And just because I have given a warning to you doesn't make all of the above wrong answer either. So please be very careful in selecting the answer over here. If you visit the IMF website, which you should do, you will be able to see how IMF describes itself, how IMF describes its own activity. You will be able to see. And if you can do that, right, then you should be able to answer this question over here. Question number 11th has been placed in front of you. IMF fosters global monetary cooperation, secures financial stability, facilitates international trade, promotes high employment and sustainable economic growth. क्या लगता है IMF क्या करता है, ये आपको सोच के बताना है. 11th question का आंसर क्या है? Priya Gairi has said that 11th question ka answer is E. Nilesh Suryavanshi, Vishal Prajapati have said that the answer to this question is E. I am requesting all of you present to please share your answers. Khushbu is saying that the answer is C. Mir Loi is saying that the answer is B. Anurag Patel is saying that the answer is D. Sonali Bhattacharya is saying E. Shweta Singh is saying B. There is a lot of confusion. The right answer to this question will be clear to you over here. Now, before we move ahead, please focus on this number 1944. I had told you in the first question itself that I am going to show a graphic to you which I have sourced from the IMF website, right? And what does the IMF say? When was it established? IMF through this graphic is clearly telling us that it was established in 1944, but IMF through its own website is also saying that we got created in 1945. So how do we understand this? So I would say that if they ask you when was the IMF established, go with 1944. When was IMF created, go with 1945. And I'm not joking. This is from the IMF website. There is no other way of authenticating it, right? This is what it is, right? 190 member countries are a part of IMF, and all the data has been provided to you. 24 executive directors representing 190 member countries are a part of the executive board. So all these things are known to you. Now, IMF fosters global monetary cooperation. It secures financial stability. It facilitates international trade. It promotes high employment and sustainable economic growth, and it reduces poverty around the world. This is what the IMF says about itself. So therefore, the right answer to this question becomes E, that all the above statements are correct. This is why you need to visit the IMF ka website, and you should not rely only upon very foggy understanding that we are having on our own. if you look at IMF's primary purpose, the primary purpose of IMF is to ensure stability of international monetary system of exchange rates and international payments and so on and so forth, right? The mandate of IMF was updated to include all macroeconomic and financial sector issues that bear on global stability. So if somebody asks you what is the primary purpose of IMF, and I never asked you the primary purpose of IMF, if somebody asks you what is the primary purpose of IMF, then you should say that it is to ensure the stability of the international monetary system. It's about system of exchange rates, it's about international payments that enables countries to transact with each other. That is the primary purpose. But there are other things associated with this primary purpose as well. If you are having a stable exchange rate system, if you are having a stable international monetary system, that is good so far as global monetary cooperation is concerned, that is good for global financial stability, that is good for international trade. Because of international trade there will be employment, because of international trade there can be high economic growth. So everything is ultimately underpinned by a stable international monetary system. So what is the purpose of IMF? The primary purpose of IMF is to ensure the stability of the international monetary system. Because of having a stable international monetary system, we will be able to get certain secondary advantages which are also a part of the purpose of IMF, you may say, and that is mentioned in point number 1 or paragraph number 1 over here. I hope that you are able to develop a nuanced understanding of what I am saying or what I am discussing over here. In this question, I did not ask you the primary purpose of IMF. I just asked you what does the IMF do indirectly, and the right answer to this question is E, all of the above. I hope that all of you are very clear, well, all of you are understanding why the answer to this question is E. Many students, Sunil Kumar, Akhil Sridharan, right, Shubhankar Kumar, you all have given different answers, and it is okay, it's okay to give all answers incorrect. That really doesn't matter at this stage, I would say, because we are learning, we are preparing. But right now you should be very clear as to what the IMF does. If everybody over here participating in this live conversation is very clear that the answer to this question is E, please give me a thumbs up in the comment section. अगर कोई भी डाउट है तो बताइए, बट मैंने पूरी कोशिश करी है कि मैं आपको समझाऊं दिखा कर वापस से, कि आप देखिए कि IMF अपने काम को, अपनी एक्टिविटी को कैसे डिस्क्राइब कर रहा है, IMF अपने प्राइमरी पर्पस को कैसे डिस्क्राइब करने लग रहा है. एंड आई हैव अंडरलाइंड दोस थिंग्स. आई होप दैट दिस इज वेरी क्लियर टू, एंड इफ इट इज क्लियर टू, प्लीज गिव मी अ थम्स अप इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. Moving ahead to question number 12. Now I had told you earlier that I'm going to have a detailed discussion with you regarding special drawing rights. Now a question related to SDRs has been placed in front of you, and you have to answer special drawing rights are not credit line allocated by the IMF to member countries according to each country's quota. Special drawing rights are not backed by US dollar. Special drawing rights are not the IMF's unit of account. Special drawing rights are not a basket of 5 currencies, or none of the above. Special drawing right क्या नहीं है? What is not true regarding special drawing rights? What is incorrect regarding special drawing rights is the question that is being asked to you over here. You have to give me the answer to the 12th question. If you don't know, please skip the question. If you know it, please give me the answers confidently. Right? So Priya, Ishita, thank you very much for giving me a thumbs up. Anurag Patil, you said thank you sir, learn something new. Anurag, that is our agenda, to teach you something new every day. Akhil Sridharan, Shweta Singh, Khushbu Agarwal, Mir Loi, thank you for giving me a confirmation. 12th question ka answer Vishal Prijapati has given B, Ishita has given B, Akhil Sridharan has given B, right? And there are good number of students who have given 12th question ka answer as E also. Okay, now let us understand certain things about special drawing rights. Many students are giving 12th question ka answer as E. Jitendra Verma is 100% sure that the answer is E. Okay, so let us see what the answer should be over here for the 12th question. Let us discuss everything about special drawing right. First of all, it is an international reserve asset which was created by IMF. So who created SDR? IMF created SDR, not World Bank, not Asian Development Bank, not any other organization. IMF created SDR in 1969. Why? To supplement its member countries' official reserves. So you have to go back into the economic history and realize and appreciate the fact that in 1969 we were having fixed exchange rate system globally. When we were having fixed exchange rate systems, there was a lot of requirement for gold, and the limited supply of gold prompted the IMF, you may say, to create an alternative international reserve asset which could be used for transactions, which could be used for settling claims, right? So SDR is neither a currency, it is not a claim on the IMF, it is a potential claim on the freely usable currencies of IMF members, in the sense that SDR basically represents the currencies of IMF members. SDRs can be exchanged for these currencies. It is something that is like, it is not exactly a currency, but it is representative of a currency. You cannot use it as a currency, but you can exchange it with a currency. That is something that you have to be very, very clear about. For example, let us say that I give you a chit, okay, and on that chit I write that, okay, let us say that you present this chit to my brother or to anybody in my community, they will give you 1000 rupee. That chit is not currency, but that chit is going to help you to get that currency. That is something that SDR is trying to do. It is neither a currency nor a claim, but it is a potential claim on the freely usable currencies of IMF members. SDRs can be used in exchange for other freely traded currencies. A country may do this when it has a deficit. Let us say that India is running a fiscal deficit and it needs foreign currency to pay for its import bills. It needs foreign currency to pay off its loan. So what can India do? India can access its SDR from IMF. India can convert that SDR into, let us say, US dollars, and India can then use those US dollars to make the international payments that it has to do. So that is how countries can use SDR. SDR's values lies in the fact that member states commit to honor their obligation to use and accept SDR. Now this is very close to the the feature of being a currency. Why is currency having a value? Why is your 2000 rupee ka note having a value? Because there is some kind of an authority which has issued it. There is some kind of a legal backing, and nobody can refuse to settle their transactions in India using, let us say, that 2000 rupees ka authentic note, right? On very similar lines, and I'm again going to reiterate that SDR is not a currency, but on very similar lines, SDR has a value only and only because member states are committing to use it, committing to exchange it, committing to accept it. How is the value of SDR determined? It is determined based upon the value of 5 currencies, 5 very strong currencies, 5 freely tradable currencies, 5 very important international currencies, that being dollar, euro, renminbi, yen and British pound. The most recent one that was added to this basket of currencies which determine the value of SDR was Chinese renminbi. Earlier, the value of SDR was determined only by dollar, euro, yen and pound. Only recently, a couple of years back, you may say, was Chinese renminbi added. Why? Because Chinese economy grew, China became very important, China became the factory of the world, as a result of which the Chinese currency was also used at a very large scale globally, and to that extent, to acknowledge the reality on ground, SDR ka value is determined by a basket of 5 currencies, and those basket ka values have been placed in front of you over here, right? So now whichever currency is included in the SDR basket, they have to meet 2 criteria: export criteria and freely usable criteria. What is the meaning of export criteria? If the issuer is a member or a monetary union that includes IMF and is also one of the top 5 world exporters. So China is one of the top 5 world exporters. That is why renminbi was added. China's currency was determined freely usable by the IMF in the sense that people use it to make payments for international transactions and are widely traded in the principal exchange market. So why was Chinese renminbi included in the basket to determine the value of SDR? Because China is one of the largest exporters in the world, you may say the top exporter in the world, and Chinese renminbi is available in principal exchange markets, is used and is traded. Therefore, it is an important currency. Therefore, it has been made a part of the SDR basket. This SDR basket of currencies is reviewed every 5 years or wherever the need arises to review this basket. Now, I have given you all the important details regarding SDR from the IMF website from a very authentic source. Where have I said that SDR is backed by US dollars? Where have I said that? It is a credit line allocated by the IMF to member countries according to each country's quota. Let us say that India commits a certain amount of resources to IMF depending upon the size of the Indian economy. Out of the quota that India has committed, a percentage is available to India in the form of SDR, which India can use when it has any deficit ka problems. This deficit ka problem wala thing we discussed. It is IMF's unit of account, that is something very clear. It is based upon a basket of 5 currencies, that is also very clear. But where have we mentioned that SDR is backed by US dollars? There is no such criteria which says that SDRs are backed by US dollars. That is why the answer to this question is B, that SDRs are not backed. Okay. SDRs are not backed by US dollars. That B should be the right answer. SDR are not credit lines allocated to IMF member countries according to each country's quota. That is wrong. SDRs are not the IMF's unit of account. That is wrong. SDRs are not a basket of 5 currencies, that is wrong. SDRs are not backed by US dollars, that is correct, and that is why the answer to this question over here is B. I hope that this is very clear to you. This is something that you should be very careful about in the examination, that the 12th question ka answer is B. SDRs are not backed by US dollars. That not is very important. Tackling that not केयरफुली इन द एग्जामिनेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. कई लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता है कि हम इसको पढ़े कैसे. SDRs क्रेडिट लाइन है, therefore SDRs are not credit line allocated by IMF to member countries is wrong. SDR IMF का unit of account है, therefore SDRs are not the IMF's unit of account is a wrong statement. SDR is a basket of 5 currencies you may say, तो SDRs are not a basket of 5 currencies ये कहना wrong है, ये गलत है. SDRs are not backed by US dollars, ये सही है, and that is why the answer to this question B. Moving ahead to question number 13th, and again this is a very important question that will help you develop a very detailed understanding of what IMF does. International Monetary Fund provides financial assistance through which of the following mechanisms? अगर आता है then you should answer. If you don't know the answer to this question, please don't answer. Please skip the answer. Please skip the question. Poverty Reduction and Growth Trust, standby arrangements, standby credit facility, flexible credit line, all of the above. आपको बताना है कि IMF फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस जो प्रोवाइड करता है, इट इज डूइंग दैट थ्रू विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग मैकेनिज्म्स? पॉवर्टी रिडक्शन एंड ग्रोथ ट्रस्ट, स्टैंड बाय अरेंजमेंट्स, स्टैंड बाय क्रेडिट फैसिलिटी, फ्लेक्सिबल क्रेडिट लाइन, और ऑल ऑफ द अबव. 13th क्वेश्चन का आंसर का आई एम वेटिंग ओवर हियर. आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग ऑल ऑफ यू टू प्लीज बी काइंड इनफ टू शेयर योर आंसर्स. राइट, चलिए बता दीजिए व्हाट इज द आंसर फॉर क्वेश्चन नंबर 13th. Vishal Prajapati, you have given answer as E. Avijit Sinha, you have given answer as E. Let me show a very detailed graphic to you, and this is the part of our course, and that is the beauty of the course, that we have covered most of the things in very good details so far as our examination is concerned. So now let us say that a country is having a present, prospective or potential balance of payment need. So that country can be helped out through a standby arrangement, through a general resource account, or that country can be helped by standby credit facility through a poverty reduction and growth trust. Let us say that a country is facing protracted balance of payment need / medium term required. That country can be helped through extended fund facility through the general resources account, or it can be helped through extended credit facility through a poverty reduction growth trust. So if it is a low income country, it will be helped through ECF. If it is not a low income country, it will be helped through EFF. Similarly, if it is a low income country, in this case it will be helped through SCF, and if it is not a low income country, then it will be helped through SBA. If there is an actual and urgent need, then it can be helped through RFI, that is rapid financing instrument, or through RCF, that is rapid credit facility. If let us say there is a present, prospective or a potential BOP need, right, in a country which is having very strong fundamentals and very strong policies, that country can be helped through flexible credit line. Let us say that there is a present, prospective or a potential balance of payment problem in a country having sound fundamentals, not very strong fundamentals, but sound fundamentals. That country can be helped through PLL, that is precautionary and liquidity line. You are not expected to do a PhD on these. You are not expected to know too much about this. In fact, you are not expected to know anything more about these facilities or these arrangements or these resources or these instruments, anything more than what has already been presented to you over here. बस इतना आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि यहाँ पर क्या है, इसका फुल फॉर्म क्या है, ये IMF से एसोसिएटेड है, लो इनकम का ये है, कंसेशनल वाला ये है, नॉन कंसेशनल वाला ये, दैट इज ऑल. एंड बेस्ड अपॉन दैट अंडरस्टैंडिंग आई एम प्लेसिंग दिस क्वेश्चन इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. IMF provides financial assistance through which of the following mechanisms? And the right answer to this question is E, all of the above. I am hoping that you have learned something new, something valuable over here, right? Because this is very important. Nagarani, you have asked where can we get the PDF of this class? The PDF of this class is available on EduTap's Telegram channel. You should join EduTap's Telegram channel. Not only the PDF of this session, but all other sessions which are taking place on EduTap's YouTube channel ka PDFs are available as a part of our Telegram channel. Now we will discuss very quickly the homework which we had presented for lecture 21. I had asked you to give me a definition of gross domestic product, right? You should be very clear about definitions of various concepts. So you have to define GDP. So if you can be kind enough to type the definition of GDP, that will be very good over here. So GDP, the important thing that you should be able to say is it is the total monetary or market value of all the finished goods and services produced within a country's borders in a specific time period. So these are the 4 important points that are a part of the GDP definition. GDP is the total monetary or market value. This is the first point. of finished goods and services. This is the second point. Produced within a country's border, let us say within India's border, in a specific time period, let us say in a year. So this is the definition of GDP I had asked you at the end of lecture 21. I had also asked you the definition of base year. You have to define what the base year is. Okay. So what is base year? Base year is the first of a series of years in an economic or financial index. So for example, let us say in India's index of industrial production, base year is, let us say, 2011. So that year 2011 is the first of a series of years in that economic index. It is typically set at an arbitrary level of 100. What does that mean? That in every subsequent year, whatever the industrial production is going to be, we are going to compare that with 2011. So we will compare 2012 with 2011. We will compare 2013 with 2012. We will compare 2014 with 2013, and we will compare 2015 with 2014. And what is the base year? Base year is 2011. Why? Because whatever the production in 2011 was, right, that has been kept as 100, and everything is basically then being, so we are able to say that, okay, this is the year on year growth. So when we say that this is an year on year growth, what we are saying is that as compared to, let us say, in 2018, 2019 has seen so much production, and whatever the number, that index that we are calculating or that we are using, that is based upon the production level in the base year, which has been set at an arbitrary level of 100. Then I asked you to give me a definition of GDP deflator. What is the definition of GDP deflator? It is basically a price deflator. It is basically a measure of inflation. It indicates how prices have changed within an economy from, let us say, a base year to the current year. So the definition of GDP, or the formula of GDP deflator, is nominal GDP divided by real GDP. Nominal GDP is calculated at current year ka market prices. Real GDP is calculated at base year ka prices. So the idea is that when you divide nominal GDP by real GDP, you come to know how prices have changed from the base year to the current year. That is the idea. That should be very clear so far as GDP deflator is concerned. Then there was a true and false ka question that we had asked regarding gross value added. And the simple question that was asked to you was that gross value added shows the picture of economy from supply side. Is this statement true or is this statement false? The answer to this question is true. Why? Because gross value added shows the picture of economy from producer side or from the supplier side. On the other hand, GDP, that is gross domestic product, it shows the picture of economy from the side of consumer, from the side of purchase. That is something that you have to keep in mind. Moving ahead to the fifth question. We had asked you that who releases IIP, Index of Industrial Production, and at this point of time I would like to highlight to you that you should know who releases IIP, who releases WPI, who releases CPI, who releases various different measures of CPI. All these things should be very, very clear to you, and the right answer to this question is NSO under MOSPI releases the Index of Industrial Production. This is something that you should be very, very clear about. We had also given you certain names of committees related to poverty, and I mind you, we cover all these poverty estimation ka committees as a part of our course in ESI also, which is a part of EduTap's course. So do join into the EduTap course. So we had asked you the major recommendations of Alag committee, Lakdawala committee, and Tendulkar committee. Now each of these committees came out with many different recommendations. I have provided one of the more important recommendations of each of these committees. Alag committee constructed the poverty line for rural and urban areas on the basis of nutritional requirements. How many calories should we consume, and so on and so forth. Lakdawala committee recommended construction of state specific poverty lines, because in every state poverty line is different because prices are different. Therefore it may cost X amount of money to purchase the same basket of goods in Maharashtra, but a Y amount of money to purchase the same basket of goods in, let us say, Jharkhand. To that extent, Lakdawala committee had said that we need to have state specific poverty lines, and Tendulkar committee recommended a uniform poverty line basket across rural and urban India. I am telling you myself that there can be many more recommendations of each of these committees which we have discussed as a part of the course. I hope that this is very clear to you. Now I have placed a very simple homework exercise, not a very detailed homework exercise, but very simple homework exercise related to World Bank over here. In the previous session we had talked about World Bank. Based upon that and based upon certain other items, I have placed a homework exercise related to World Bank. I am requesting all of you participating over here to please answer these questions within 1 hour of viewing this video. With this, we will bring this video to an end. You can please be kind enough to share your scores and experience with me. How many questions you were able to get, you were able to attempt correctly? There were 10 objective questions, fill in the blanks, true and false, and I think there were 3 multi-choice questions. So please be kind enough to share your scores out of those 13 questions कि आपके कितने सही गए हैं and what has been your experience. And if you have enjoyed this session, it is my sincerest request that please do like this session and share this session with one of your best friends and tell your best friend about EduTap. चलिए, दीपिका, नीलेश, इशिता, SK साथी, खुशबू अग्रवाल, अभिराम, महेश, Nagarani, Anurag Patil. Nagarani, I hope that you can get the PDF of this class very easily. If there is any problem, you can comment. We will help you to get the PDF, right? Anjali, you wanted to enroll in our courses. If there is any problem you are facing, you can call us, you can mail us. We will help you out in enrolling within our courses. If there is any problem whatsoever, at any point of time, you can call us, all of you, right? Priya, thank you very much. Deepika, thank you very much. Nilesh, thank you very much. Lubna, your score is 9 out of 13. I am requesting all of you present to please share your scores. Ishita Tripathi, 9 out of 13. Sonali Bhattacharya, you are asking, sir, how can we subscribe to the beautiful EduTap current affairs ka magazine? See, the beautiful EduTap ka current affairs ka magazine is a part of the course. So what I would advise you is that you can join the course and that magazine will be available to you. Because I don't think that magazine is available alag se. That is not an option that is available. It is a part of course. It is bundled into the course. Because at the end of the day, you have to do well in static and you have to do well in current affairs to be able to clear any examination, and you have to do well in all aspects of the exam. So in our courses, we are trying to cover all aspects of the exam, right? Kiran Gondwal, thank you so much, sir. Awesome session as usual. Kiran, thank you for participating and thank you for sharing your kind words with me. With this, we'll bring this session to an end, friends. We'll see you again next Saturday. Thank you very much. All the very best and Jai Hind.